My loving pranams at the beautiful lotus feet of our dearly beloved Lord, Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Mr. S.S. Naganand, Central Trust Member, Dr. Akshay, Zone 1 Chair, Global Council, Brother Balu, National Council President of United States of America, office bearers and leaders of Region 3, respected elders, brothers and sisters, and my most precious youth of Sai and blossoming Balvikas children, Jai Sai Ram. Firstly, I want to thank you for coming back to the hall after your lovely tea and coffee and snacks. Because you know, one thing I've noticed when I travel around, and you know, this morning we had the beautiful bhajans. Soon as the bhajans finish, you notice all the young adults getting up and there's a mass stampede out. So firstly, thank you for bearing with me because I know it's been a long morning. We had a fantastic talk by Mr. Naganand this morning. And really what I would like to do with you over the just under an hour is to talk to you about Swami and some of the life lessons that I've had the privilege of first-hand learning from Swami. I'm so very grateful for all the organizers of this retreat. It's not just a retreat, but it's a real treat to be here with all of you and really to share Swami's love and Swami's glory. You know, when I was growing up, unlike many of the young adults today, I never had a master plan. My only plan was to love the Master. So thank you for this opportunity that you've given me, you've afforded me to share my thoughts, experiences, and lessons that I've learned firsthand at the Divine Lotus feet. So, the 2 days. Today I'm going to focus on some of these life lessons, these management tips and tricks that a lot of the young adults will find very useful. Now, you're probably thinking that I'm addressing this to the young adults, to the youth. What about me? Now, let's be very clear. When Swami talks about the youth, he's not just talking about 16 to 35. You know, once Swami pointed to a 90-year-old man on the veranda and said, he is a Sai youth. And everybody was very shocked. What's Swami talking about? You know, he's a Sai youth, a man of 90. And then Swami went on to say, if you follow my command, if you practice my teachings, then you are a Sai youth. So each and every one of you in this hall are a young adult, a Sai youth of Bhagavan. So, in our perpetual quest for personal and professional fulfillment, we often seek guidance from various sources: mentors, parents, family, books, TV, Google now, social media, and sometimes the infinite stories of the past. Today, I am very much honored to share insights from one of the most venerated figures in history. Swami has spoken about this person many, many times, especially when discussing spiritual matters with the youth, encouraging them to be like this person. Swami said that they were the perfect mentor for young people everywhere. In an era marked by rapid change and overwhelming challenges, his life is a paragon of devotion and service. I am talking of none other than Lord Hanuman. And the reason why, one of the reasons why I've decided to focus on Lord Hanuman today, one, it being Saturday, the day dedicated to Lord Hanuman. And the second reason, I was in India last month, and you know, the Indian airports, they have amazing bookstores, and I love going to bookstores. As you know, I think brother said, you know, historian, you know, what I studied back in the day, that now warrants me to be called an uncle. But so I was in this bookstore in the airport, the Mumbai airport, and I went to Reach to get one of these self-help books. I think India have the best self-help books that you can get anywhere. So as I was leaning up to get this book, I think it was Eckhart Tolle, another book fell on the floor. And when I picked up that book, it was about Lord Hanuman. And previously I was thinking that, I'm coming to the USA, to Raleigh, to meet all these devotees. What should I talk about? What should I say to the young adults? And there was my answer. So, brothers and sisters, let's focus on this beautiful character that is Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman's life offers not just solace, but a profound template for living for all of us, young or old. A mere tale from the past, it's not a myth. It actually happened. Lord Hanuman is a continuous source of strength and inspiration for millions around the world, embodying the timeless virtues of love, devotion, courage, humility, and selflessness. Lord Hanuman is perhaps known as one of the greatest servants of the Lord, exemplifying the belief that in serving others with devotion and love, we fulfill our highest potential. The Pope in the Catholic Church, they have a title, Servus Servorum Dei in Latin, and this translates to servant of the servants of God, a concept deeply embedded in the ethos of Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman was the son of a god. And Swami told us many, many stories when the youth used to gather that he was a son of a god, but yet he was given administrative tasks to do during the Ramayana. And he did that without any ego, without any pride. Whatever was given to him, he would accomplish. A lesson that we should all adhere to. Known as the ardent devotee of Sri Rama, Lord Hanuman represents the highest form of devotion, bhakti, demonstrated through his unwavering commitment and actions. Swami is very keen for young people around the world to imbibe his lessons and to be like him. You will note I refer to him in the present tense as he is a Chiranjeevi. He had a boon from Mother Sita to be eternal with no end. So he is still living amongst us, even now in 2024. Lord Hanuman played a very important role in the epic of Ramayana. While Sri Ram was the hero of the Ramayana, Hanuman was the hero of Sundarkand by the grace of Sri Ram. Did you know in India it has been recorded there are more temples for Lord Hanuman than there are for Sri Ram? Only the Lord loves to see his devotees being glorified more than himself. All over the world, Lord Hanuman is the most sought after god of young people. Our beloved Swami held Lord Hanuman in the highest esteem, speaking of him at every opportunity as the ultimate embodiment of devotion, strength and service. Swami often highlighted Lord Hanuman's qualities as a beacon of his inspiration, emphasizing that his life provides timeless lessons that are incredibly relevant in today's world. His unwavering loyalty to Sri Ram, his immense physical and mental strength, tempered with profound humility, and his boundless enthusiasm for selfless service are attributes that each one of us should strive to emulate. Swami pointed out that Lord Hanuman's life is a testament to the power of pure, focused devotion and the miracles it can manifest. His devotion to Sri Ram was not just emotional, but translated into every action he undertook. This teaches young people the importance of dedicating themselves fully to the goal and ideals, demonstrating the true success comes from unwavering commitment and integrity. Today, as we delve deeper into Lord Hanuman's life, let us draw on his extraordinary example to inspire our path. Let his devotion remind us of our capacity to love and serve wholeheartedly, and let his strength and humility guide us in overcoming the personal and professional challenges that we all face daily. Lord Hanuman's life is a beacon that lights up the path of devotion and service, urging us to rise above our limitations and expand our horizons. Furthermore, his humility, despite his extraordinary abilities, serves as a critical lesson in character development. In a world that often glorifies personal achievement in the workplace and ego, Lord Hanuman's example reminds us that true greatness lies in humility and service to others. He saw himself solely as the servant of Sri Ram, always prioritizing the needs of others over his own, which is a vital lesson for young adults everywhere who are learning to balance personal ambition with social responsibility and spiritual sadhana. Swami illustrated that Lord Hanuman's life is just not a mythical account, but a blueprint for living a meaningful and impactful life. By adopting his virtues of devotion, humility, service, courage, and wisdom, young people should aspire to lead lives that are not only successful in worldly terms, but also fulfilling and spiritually enriching. This profound and holistic approach to personal development is why Lord Hanuman still remains timeless and a revered role model, continually inspiring generations to pursue excellence through selfless service and unwavering faith. So please join me now as we explore these timeless yet ever relevant life lessons given to us by Swami. These teachings uplift us, they challenge us and motivate us. They offer strength in times of adversity. It is the balm to heal a broken heart and the power to break through the toughest obstacles that life is going to throw at each one of you. The list is endless, but I've tried to capture and collate some of the key important life lessons from notes, Swami's discourses, conversations that we've had with Bhagavan, that I hope you will find helpful to navigate life. So before I start with life lessons from Lord Hanuman's life, let me start by saying a few lines from the Hanuman Chalisa, a poetic composition dedicated to Lord Hanuman, written in the 16th century by the great Saint Tulsidas. The Hanuman Chalisa consists of 40 stanzas in which the power, the strength, the bravery of Lord Hanuman have been described in great detail. The chanting of this Lord Hanuman's Chalisa is not only powerful, but deeply magical, an armor and shield to protect and bless you. Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nijamana Mukura Sudar, Baranau Raghuvara Bimala Jasa, Joda Yakafala Char. Having polished the mirror of my heart with the dust of my Guru's lotus feet, I recite the divine fame of the greatest king of the Raghu dynasty, which bestows us with the fruit of all the four efforts. Buddhihinu tanujanike, sumiro pavana kumar, bala buddhi vidya deho mohi, Hara Ukalesha Vikar, Siyavara Ramachandra ki Jai Sharanam, Pavanaputra Hanuman ki Jai Sharanam. Knowing that this mind has less intelligence, I remember the son of wind god, Pavanaputra, who granting me strength and wisdom and all kinds of knowledge, removes all of my sufferings and shortcomings now. Lesson 1. Swami has said that Lord Hanuman teaches us that we must have self-confidence. He wants the youth to know that you can achieve anything. Nothing is unachievable if you have self-confidence. Swami said, you must have self-belief in your abilities, that you can do and achieve anything, even if you feel you are unqualified for the job. But you must have implicit faith in the words of Swami, and you must follow him only. Swami will not let you down, never. And finally, you must never say no to Swami's work. Now let us look at how Lord Hanuman embodied this. According to Swami, whenever there was work to be done, Lord Hanuman always came forward and volunteered to get the task done. You know, it reminds me, many years ago, we were with Swami in Kodaikanal. During one afternoon, it was pouring down with rain outside, and it was the customary for Swami to give a discourse in the afternoon. Swami was in a wonderful mood. It was like he was in another dimension. Swami gave us a very beautiful story that embodies this lesson of how we must always do Swami's work and never say no. When Sita had been abducted by Ravana to Lanka, Sri Ram was crestfallen and in huge dilemma. So when Lord Sri Ram asked his central trust that had gathered around him, what will we do? How will we search for Mother Sita? Unlike the central trust that we have, this central trust of Sri Ram looked at each other and said, Lord, this cannot be done. Within seconds, somebody from the back put his hand up. Lord Hanuman came forward with clasped hands and said, Lord, I will do it. Sri Ram, to teach the others a lesson, he told Hanuman to come forward. Hanuman, have you ever visited Lanka before? No, Swami. Sri Rama said, very good. So you are going to a place you've never been before. Sri Rama said, Hanuman, have you ever seen Sita before? No, Swami. Okay, so you are going to identify someone you have never seen before. Sri Rama said, Hanuman, do you know the difficulty in crossing the ocean? Swami, I have no prior experience of crossing any ocean. Sri Rama said, so you are a person without experience going to an unknown place to recognize an unknown person. What a fool you are. Lord Hanuman said, Swami, once you say go and do, you will give me the needed strength, capacity, skill, intelligence. For me, your command is enough. What devotion, brothers and sisters. Your command is enough for me, Swami. Your command is enough. So, do we have that level of determination in doing Swami's work? Do we have that faith that he will take care of us? Do we have that level of conviction in his words that we can face any challenge? When our center presidents, or the national president, or the zonal chair, or any office bearer asks us to do something, Can you take on the role, young adults? Become a coordinator? Do the seva? Can you do this in the center? Can you help? Can you do this? Can you do that? Many people nowadays stay silent, hoping someone else will come forward, or they look at each other, to the left, to the right, hoping that somebody will put their hand up. Or some will say, you know, now is not the right time. I have exams. I'm studying to be a doctor. I have my family to look after. So many challenges. But for me, now is not the right time. I'll do it next year or next month. Lord Hanuman didn't look left or right or even think about whether he could do it or not. He didn't think, what will I have time? Will I be busy? How will I accomplish it? Or let me see when I can schedule this into my diary of when I can go to Lanka to find Mother Sita. He never said anything like that. He never worried about money, funds, capabilities, or skill to achieve any of this. He simply said, for me, your command is enough, Swami. Brothers and sisters, do we have that level of devotion? Do we have that level of conviction? You know, this reminds me of a very famous quote that was given by Sir Richard Branson. You know the one, the founder of the Virgin Airlines. And it's a quote that's used often in business circles. So Sir Richard Branson said, if somebody offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure if you can do it, just say yes, and then learn how to do it later. Just say yes, and then learn how to do it later. You know, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. And this quote was reminded to us by the late Martin Luther King. Swami has said so many times, if you take one step towards me, I will take 100. You know, many years ago, one dignitary gave this speech where he said, in front of Swami's divine presence, you know, Swami says, if you take one step towards me, I will take 100. Swami stopped him there and then and corrected him and said, if you take one step towards Swami, I will take 1,000 steps towards each one of you. There is another really good quote that I came across once when I was watching American TV on my previous visit by a tele-evangelist. I think you have so many of these tele-evangelist channels, but they're quite good. You know, when we come over from London, we sometimes find it very difficult falling asleep. So naturally, you put this on in your hotel room, and there's all these, you know, evangelist channels. And I think there was some very famous American pastor. I think his name was Joel Osteen. And he said something really quite profound. He said, faith activates God. Fear activates the enemy. So think about this. Faith, when you have faith, it does something. It activates God into action. But fear activates the enemy. Each one of you must have absolute, unequivocal faith in Bhagavan and his words. His life was a message, and now we must do the same. You know, in The Measure to Measure, William Shakespeare wrote, our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Having self-confidence and self-belief is key lesson exemplified by Lord Hanuman. Swami said to us, what is self-confidence or self-belief? He went on to say once, self-confidence means thinking all the time, God is in me. God is doing everything. Without God, I cannot be. All this is God. I only want to think of God. Please remember this. Swami said himself, God is in me. God is doing everything. Without God, I cannot be. All this is God. I only want to think of God. Marcus Garvey so brilliantly put it, if you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. So let's recap lesson 1. You must have unflinching devotion to God. You must have unflinching faith and self-confidence in yourself. And above all else, never say no to his work. Because you never know what the Lord wants to teach you. You never know what the Lord wants to give you. And this is a principle that I try to live my life by. I often get asked by young people whenever I go anywhere, what's the secret? What is the secret? They use the term hack. What's the hack that you can call God to you? What is the hack that makes Swami intervene, for Swami to fulfill your desires? That hack is very simple. Never say no to his work. And I'll give you an example. Brother Vijay spoke earlier, and he was saying that, I took on a role as the National Council President of the United Kingdom. Now, at the time, I was the International Youth Coordinator, and there were some, issues going on in the United Kingdom. Swami wasn't very happy with the course, the journey that they were on. And, they wanted to make some changes. So Dr. Goldstein went to Swami with a list of names of possible candidates that could become the National Council President. Swami wasn't, he looked at the list, he didn't say much. And then out of the blue, he says to Dr. Goldstein, send the boy. I was always referred to as the boy. So you can imagine, I have no experience in running a national council. But, when you have the confidence, he makes amazing things happen. Now, you can imagine, you're walking in, I was 30-something at the time, and you have to completely change the course of the direction of a national central council. One of the tasks was politely asking everybody to step down and to bring in a new council. So you can imagine the challenges, the difficulties that one is faced. But when you hold on to Swami, you can achieve anything. Like with our lovely young adults, if after this session, and I'm hoping somebody from the leadership team in Region 3 will approach some of you to take on some tasks, you will not say no. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to expand a little bit, because I know a lot of you, the young adults have been coming up to me and asking me, can you talk about some of your experiences with Swami, which I will definitely do tomorrow. But I just wanted to highlight to you that a lot of the opportunities that came up during my life, they were quite massive ones, and I was not the first choice or the second choice or the third choice. But when it got to me, I always said yes. And I'll give you another example. Second time round, there were a few other issues going on in the UK National Council, some quite big ones. The whole council was dissolved, and the task was to appoint somebody that can set up a new central national council. So the then chairman of the international organization approached a number of people. He didn't just go through A list, B list, C list, D list. I mean, he literally couldn't find anybody to take on the role. So like Hanuman, when they eventually exhausted everybody that they could think of in the UK, they rang me up. And you know what I said? Even without asking what the mission was, yes, I'll do it. Because I have confidence. I know that when you do Swami's work, and I will prove this to you tomorrow, that he makes the most unimaginable, the most fantastic things happen. I think Brother Vijay spoke about Buckingham Palace, the Queen. I mean, for us, it doesn't mean anything. But when you do his work, these opportunities, they just come up. And the other thing that I wanted to tell all these lovely young adults that are here, and I'm a firm believer, whoever's meant to be in this hall listening to this are meant to hear it for a good reason. I was quite enamored. There is a young boy that has been sitting here. He sat there yesterday and this morning, and very intently. I think he's got a plaster cast on his arm. And, he was sitting there, and he was fixed on Mr. Naganand when he was speaking. Now, I don't know whether he understood what was being said, but he was transfixed. And look at the level of devotion of this young man. I'm sure he can't be more than 8, 9, or 10. But he sat there and he listened. And it takes me back when we were growing up, when we were that age, 9 and 10, we would sit in a hall like this listening. And we were very lucky, we got to, listen to great, bastions of Swami's organization, Phyllis Crystal, John Hislop, Victor Kanu, Al Draka, some of the greats that have fantastic stories and fantastic experiences of Swami. We probably didn't understand most of it, but those few little things that sunk in really helped shape our character. And my request to, I think, all the, the young adult coordinators is, when the leaders of this organization, when the organizers of this retreat, they have been spending days, weeks, months in organizing this. It's so important that everybody, when it's key speakers, especially like Mr. Naganand, Central Trust, Trust member, Dr. Akshay, it's so important for you to know what is happening in India. It's so important for you to know what is happening in your countries, because you never know when the opportunity will come up. And 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to think, nah, I'm not going to be able to do this. Look at Mr. Naganand, he's not a medic, but when Swami gave him the opportunity to be on the medical trust, he didn't look left or right. He just said, okay, I'll do it. And then Swami will automatically make things happen for you. And another thing, another example comes to my mind about faith. Now, Ravi Kumar, whom you all know, once told us a very beautiful story about faith. And it's a beautiful story about a student who went up to Swami once and said, Swami, my faith in you is reducing. Can you believe that? Who would have the confidence to go up to God, divinity, Apurna Avatar, and actually say, Swami, my faith in you is reducing? Everybody around Swami were very shocked. They didn't know how Swami was going to react. You know what Swami said? He looked at the boy with a lot of love, and he said, do you have love for me in your heart? Absolutely, Swami, said the student. Swami said, then keep that love in your heart. Faith will grow automatically. Keep that love in your heart, and faith will grow automatically. And I think that's one of the principles I've always lived by. Like I said to you, I never had a master plan. My plan was always to please Swami. Any opportunity, I was there. I wanted to get Swami's attention. And to get Swami's attention is quite difficult. It reminds me, it's like a divine romance. I was having a really funny conversation yesterday with Brother Vijay. And I was saying to him that, I wish I could somehow instill in the youth that, your relationship with Swami, it's like a divine romance. You have to put in an effort. And if I may be as bold as to say, for the parents out there, not so much for the youth, when you were dating, if I can use that term, or when you found your prospective partner, you had to put effort in. And Brother Vijay told me this story where, his fiancée made him wait at a lamppost when they had fixed up a time to meet, and she kept him waiting for a long time. And that is love. That is devotion. When you love God, you will do anything and everything. And what does that mean for us? It's following his command. It's reading about what does Swami expect of us. And you have so many learned elders, so many learned people, not only in this hall, not only in this center, in this region, in this country, that will guide you. They'll tell you the magic formula. They'll tell you the life hack in which you need to be successful. Lesson number 2. Swami said, Lord Hanuman teaches us that we must have exclusive focus on the goal. Focus on the goal. Do not stop until you reach the goal. Back in the 80s, Swami used to have a very famous quote. the 4 Fs. And I don't know how many of you remember the 4 Fs, but in many, many discourses used to talk about the 4 Fs. And we used to have it drilled in us by our Balvikas teachers. Follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, and finish the game. Follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end, and finish the game. Do not stop, no matter what challenges and obstacles come your way. You know, it reminds me, during the World Youth Conference, you know, I had the opportunity, I don't know how it happened, but I was given the task of coordinating the 2007 International World Youth Conference. And as you can imagine, you know, when you're 30-something and you're going new into an organization, into something quite different, you don't know how to navigate. Can you imagine the challenges that, you know, that we had to go through? It was really tough. Swami is a very hard taskmaster, make no means about that. But as tough as he is, his heart melts when you put in the effort. It was really tough. But, you know, and I remember, you know, once in a meeting with Swami in the interview room, my wife said to Swami, Swami, so many challenges, so many people are trying to stop us doing your work. And I thought, wow, you know, if I could have shut my wife up at that point, I would have, but I couldn't. And I said, what a bold statement to say in front of Swami, that people are trying to stop us doing your work. And you know what Swami said? Whatever happens, do not stop. Whatever happens, do not stop. Had we had stopped, we wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have been able to touch the countless lives that we've had the great privilege and fortune to do. Swami emphasized Lord Hanuman's courage and determination to the youth. He said that there were many challenges that Lord Hanuman had to go through crossing the ocean and battling formidable demons. But Lord Hanuman never wavered. He never gave up. His life teaches young people, young and old, to face adversities with bravery and perseverance, reinforcing that obstacles are not barriers, but opportunities to demonstrate and develop inner strength. You know, very often in a center, I always think a center is like a family. You know, nowadays, I think our young people are quite, you know, you have to be very careful with the new generation of how you say things to them, because they get very upset easily. You know, when I was growing up, we would be blasted black and blue by our center presidents. I think you all are very lucky, because they will come up to you and say, YA, do you think if you have time you could put the sheets for bhajans? Do you think, I know you're so busy revising, please can you come to the retreat? Don't worry about getting here. We'll come and pick you up. We'll give you donuts along the way. I'll give you a nice big lunch. We had none of that. You know, we were told, tomorrow is next month is a retreat. I want you to do X, Y, and Z. Make sure you are there. We could never give any excuses, but we had to do. And you know, I'm very, very grateful for that discipline. You know, Swami talks a lot about discipline for young people. And this is why I think he uses Hanuman a lot in his analogies when he's talking about young people, because Lord Hanuman personifies discipline. Like I said to you, he was the son of a god. Yet often they would, you know, Sugriv used to give him very menial tasks, and he did them without any complaining. He did it. But the Lord knows. You know, people may forget the input that you're doing, but Swami never forgets, and he rewards at the right time. Right, so let's get back to the story of Lord Hanuman and crossing the ocean. So Lord Hanuman offered his prayers to Vayu, his father, Surya, his teacher, and Indra before jumping. We must remember, a humble person offers respect to great souls, seeking blessings for the success of one's mission. How many of us young people actually do that? You know, it's so customary that, you know, when you embark on any important project or an exam, how many of you take your blessings of your parents? And I know some of you are putting your hand up. I'm so impressed. That's brilliant. How many of you take blessings? You know, many people, when they walk out of the house, they take Swami's blessings. And I think, like Mr. Naganan said, you know, taking your blessings of your parents is so powerful. And you know what it does? It removes obstacles. It removes challenges. So see Hanuman himself. Now, Hanuman was no ordinary person. You know, he was the incarnation of Lord Shiva. Yet, before he jumped that ocean, he took the blessings of his teacher, of his father, of Lord Indra, and then bang, he jumped. He drew his breath and sprang into the air like an arrow shot from the bow of Lord Rama. As Lord Hanuman soared through the sky, the ocean deity desired to help him and ordered Mount Menika to rise from the water and provide a resting place for Hanuman. So imagine this great big mountain suddenly rising from the ocean. Mount Menika rose and spoke to Lord Hanuman. Lord Hanuman, I request you to stop a while and accept my hospitality. Lord Hanuman, completely focused on his mission, with one pointed attention replied, please excuse me, my time is very short. I cannot dare stop. I am on a mission for Sri Ram, but not to disrespect this kind offer, he respectfully touched the foot of the mountain with his foot and proceeded on his mission. This is a lesson to all that whatever service we are undertaking, we should always remain focused on the task and to not get sidetracked, especially for personal comforts. And I'd like to draw on something that I found out last night. I think a coach that was coming from Florida was delayed. And you know, you all know Sister Vinny. And you know, she's been running around, and you know, and as well as running around with the retreat, she's also got a house full of guests like us staying with her, you know, demanding people from here, there, and everywhere. And we heard that, you know, this bus got in late, so she didn't get home till the early hours because she wanted to follow through on her duty. Now, anybody else could have said, you know what, I'm really tired, I've been running all week, all month, you know, let me go home, have a cup of coffee, and go to sleep, and the volunteers will take care of it. But no, she saw her duty right to the end, and when everybody had packed up, only then did she come back. And we have to be like that. As Hanuman continued on his journey, a huge demoness named Chudasama, the mother of the Nagas, emerged from the ocean, blocking his path. You can imagine this very ugly demoness, breathing fire and all this poison coming out of her. She told Lord Hanuman, I have a boon from Lord Brahma himself, that I can eat whatever comes in my path. O great monkey, now you should enter my gaping mouth. Hanuman said, Mother, I am on a mission to find Lord Rama, his kidnapped wife. After finding her and reporting back to Lord Ram, I shall return and I will enter your mouth. But Chudasama demanded that Hanuman enters her mouth at once. To escape, he first tried making himself big so that she could not swallow him. So she became big. He became bigger. She became even bigger. He became colossal. Even she became colossal. As soon as she became colossal, Hanuman, using his wit and wisdom, shrank to the size of a thumb, entered her mouth, and quickly came out, saying, Now the condition of your boon has been fulfilled. Please let me continue my journey. Chudasama was very impressed and delighted. Assuming her normal form, she affectionately spoke, Dear Hanuman, you are very intelligent. The demigods had sent me to test you. I bless you. May you be successful in the service of Sri Ram. Swami then went on to say that sometimes When we tell people of our goals, our plans, people may try to obstruct or stop us. They will try to provoke us, but a wise person doesn't get into any unnecessary argument or competition with such people. One must show timely intelligence and presence of mind. So Hanuman cleverly satisfied Surasa without obstructing his mission. Even a hard-hearted person becomes mild and soft when he sees or she sees humility in the opponent. It is not always necessary to respond to every challenge or provocation. One need not prove one's power in front of others in every situation. While an egoistic person always tries to prove one's superiority over others, a humble person never exhibits one's power, but only when necessary. So the next obstacle appeared in the form of another demoness, Simhika. She had received a boon from Brahma again. You can see there's a pattern here. That Brahma had given her a boon capable of overpowering opponents by pinning down their shadow. While Lord Hanuman was flying on, he suddenly felt paralyzed. He couldn't move. Though he strained to the fullest extent of his phenomenal, colossal power and strength, he couldn't move onwards. Looking down, he saw a hideous demoness named Simhika, looking at him and licking her lips. He understood that she had used her mystic powers to catch his shadow, thereby arresting and stopping his progress. As he was considering his options, he found himself being pulled towards her devouring, gloating mouth. Her plan was to chew Lord Hanuman, to kill him and feast on him. With remarkable presence of mind, Lord Hanuman used the momentum of the pull towards Simhika and went into her stomach. Before she could even understand what was happening, he went deep into her stomach and started beating and fighting, and slowly ripped her stomach open and emerged out. As the demoness fell, screaming to her death, Lord Hanuman flew on. In life too, we have to recognize our shadows or demons in order to complete and be free. You see, obstacles are obstacles only when we see them so. But when we see the merciful nature of the Lord and his greatness, all obstacles seem insignificant. The Lord's empowerment and blessings can equip even monkeys, bears, vultures, and squirrels to accomplish unimaginable mission. And you all know the story of the bridge to Lanka. So there is no need to be proud of being a human being with so-called high birth. But one must learn to take pride in the glory of the Lord, whose mercy is beyond all expectations and external considerations of caste, creed, gender, species, and so on. Lord Hanuman's wisdom and quick thinking in the face of danger, such as his encounter with Surasa Simhika, highlight the importance of intelligence and adaptability. You see, these qualities are crucial for all of us navigating the complexities of modern life, where the ability to think on one's feet and adapt to changing circumstances is so very important. Lesson number 3. Swami said, Lord Hanuman teaches us to stay committed to a higher purpose. Stay loyal and never compromise on your ideals. You know, during the war between Lord Hanuman and Indrajit in Ashoka Vatika, Indrajit chose to use the great power of the Brahmastra to vanquish Lord Hanuman. Now, Lord Hanuman could have used his strength and broken the Brahmastra, but did not do this because he didn't want to reduce the importance of this weapon that was created by Lord Brahma himself. Instead, he bowed before it. So, brothers and sisters, even in the face of opposition, Lord Hanuman's steadfast dedication to righteousness teaches us the significance of standing up for what is right. Virtues such as fearlessness and fortitude are indispensable in the struggle against injustice and the advancement of good in the world. Today, as devotees of Swami, we too are on a sacred quest, undergoing a leap into the unknown, a leap of faith with the goal to merge with our Swami. Just as Lord Hanuman encountered myriad of problems, obstacles and challenges on his path to Lanka, we too are not spared in our journey. The difference in this Kali Yuga is that these monsters disguise themselves in more deceptive forms. Some wolves parade in sheep's clothing, masquerading as innocent, or even pretending to be the Lord himself, despite Swami's clear and repeated warnings that he works through no medium, third person, or emissary. Unfortunately, many have fallen for these deceptions. There are those who seek to mislead, cause disharmony, disunity, causing confusion and doubt. They attempt to derail us from our journey, not to Lanka, but to the supreme abode of peace, the home of divinity itself. Yet we must not yield to these temptations. We must cling to Swami with unwavering devotion. My prayer to Swami has always been, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, or no matter what distractions may befall me, and that life may throw at me, please, Swami, never let me leave, never let me go. You know, there is a famous line, the unseen Swami is even more powerful than the seen Swami. So let us hold on to this faith and never stray from the divine quest. Lord Hanuman's devotion to Sri Ram is legendary, as we've discussed. His unwavering determination in finding Mother Sita, crossing ocean and overcoming unsurmountable difficulties showcases the power of relentless pursuit fueled by devotion. In our endeavors, whether in business or personal growth, Lord Hanuman inspires us to persevere in the face of challenges and unwavering faith and determination. Swami says, lesson number 4, Lord Hanuman teaches us that we must have effective communication skills. Lord Hanuman's ability to communicate effectively with different beings, be it demons he met along the way, the monkeys, the animal armies, and even Ravana himself, showcases the importance of clear and concise communication. Leaders who can convey their ideas, expectations, and the vision clearly, while also actively listening to their team members, promote better understanding and collaboration. You know, there's a great philosopher who said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we can speak. Swami says you can not always oblige, but you can speak obligingly. Keep an eye on the time. I'm just going to fast forward because I'm conscious of time. You know, there is a great anecdote that sage Tulsidas' version of the Ramayana. When Sri Rama looked upon Lord Hanuman and was confused by his strange appearance, Sri Rama asked Hanuman, "What are you? Are you a monkey or are you a man?" Lord Hanuman responded, "When I forget who I am, I serve you. When I remember who I am, I am you. You know, to me this represents that idea when we are in our human, our monkey form, we serve God. And when we remember our true nature, when we remember who we really are, we see divinity within us and all around us. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to stop there, but I'm looking forward to coming back again tomorrow so that we can delve more into Swami's beautiful leelas, his beautiful mahimas. And I would like to give you, like, Mr. Naganand was saying, we can talk about Swami for hours. And I'm looking forward to sharing some more intimate stories that I think will highlight everything that Lord Hanuman epitomized. The reason why Swami, when Swami in the interview used to mention Lord Hanuman, his face used to change. There used to be this dewy look in his eye, and often he would get lost. He'd like go into a trance. It was very beautiful to see. So I pray for Swami to bless each one of us so that we can be his Hanumans. Because, brothers and sisters, there is so much work to be done out there. And each one of you, if you put your mind and focus, you can achieve unimaginable greatness, unimaginable things that won't just take you to Buckingham Palace, but to the White House itself. Jai Sai Ram.